Drivers, start your engine!
Tuning up your work week, it's MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. And brought to you by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. Now, for the latest NASCAR news and opinions, here are your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Joey Meyer.
Welcome to a championship finale edition of Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. I'm Tony Rizzuti, alongside at Two Spotter Joey Meyer. Woody Kane working his way back from Miami, probably down there at the resort. Get a little sun on that dome up there.
I did.
Tanning up.
I did. We both did. I think we had a great weekend. Chamber of Commerce style weather for South Florida.
Perfect.
No rain, which was unusual for the Florida weather. Very nice, cool weather. Great racing conditions. The track was in great shape. The fans were there. And they saw three distinct races which provided opportunities for guys that we didn't expect going into the weekend to all three of these guys pull out a victory.
Yeah, it's a great point. I don't know that anybody had Brett Moffitt, Tyler Reddick, and Joey Logano at the top of their sheet, though I would say probably Logano, just strong team in a Ford. Fords have been dominant pretty much the whole year. A lot of people probably saw him more than they saw Reddick and Moffitt, but
yeah,
all three, incredible season, incredible finales. We'll talk about all that coming up on the program. Kevin Harvick did not win the championship. He ended up third. But it's a top 10, so that means Joey gets to play with his Joey. Order off the kids menu.
There's a little pocket in the front.
That's a pouch.
There's a little pocket.
Yeah, you can put your Aussie fries in there. So head out to Outback Steakhouse tomorrow. Get your free bloomin' onion. Tell them Kevin Harvick sent you. Tell them MRN's Motorsports Monday sent you. That'd be awesome as well. Tough race for Kevin. Thought he'd be the guy. He was the favorite kind of going in, had the experience of being there before, likes to get in everybody's head, had a strong race car, but in the end, that final caution really kind of took him out of play, Joey.
You know, three of the four contenders were looking for their second championship. Joey was looking for his first. So right away, the other three drivers had the advantage. So then you break it down into the last momentum. We talk about momentum at the end of the season. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick had the most wins. Kevin clearly had a dominant car at Texas, albeit one that got a little points taken away from him. But their mile-and-a-half program of the three drivers was probably the strongest. Joey had really won Talladega and Martinsville, not really a strength for mile-and-a-half track. So you really started breaking it down, trying to be with a numbers thing with Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. At the end of that race, they all took turns leading, everybody except for Kyle Busch. At the end of that race, Kevin Harvick and those guys had set themselves up to be the winner. Kyle Busch was staying out. He was a slow car. He's going to have to pit. Kevin Harvick's going to win this race, win his second championship. Rodney Childers, who's outside the track talking on a digital radio because he's not allowed on the track, they're going to celebrate. Poof, 20 laps to go. A caution comes out, completely changes the entire race. Joey's car was able to go very, very fast on short run speed and able to get by the leaders with an amazing pass with Martin Truex there at the end.
Yeah, you talk about that final caution. You know what's interesting about that, Joey, is when Martin Truex won the championship last year, it was a caution for the 19 car that helped him out. Yeah. This year it was a caution for the 19 car that hurt them. Yeah. Oh, by the way, where's Martin Truex and Cole Pearn going next year?
In the 19 car.
How weird is that?
Yeah, very weird.
Hey, speaking of Homestead real quick, and then we'll talk about these other series. You've seen all the mile-and-a-half tracks multiple times. Is Homestead kind of that, at least in having everybody to have an equal chance? You talk about guys that just dominate on the typical quad oval mile-and-a-half. Is Homestead kind of that perfect storm that allows anybody to really hit it that weekend and race up front?
You know, the interesting thing about Homestead, yes, it's a mile-and-a-half long, but that's the only trait it shares with every other mile-and-a-half. The mile-and-a-half at Homestead, in its third version since it's been built, it started out as a very flat track. It went to an oval flat track. Now it's a variable banking mile-and-a-half. It's the blueprint for every mile-and-a-half that should be built from now on. And there should be no mile-and-a-half track that's not built after a template of Homestead. And what it does is it is an equalizer. It does allow the Kyle Larsons and the guys that have the guts to run against the wall. It allows the guys that can set their cars up to bottom feed, as a Kevin Harvick did most of the evening. And you don't see that at any other mile and a half. And that's why it offers such good racing. You're not going to see follow the leader as we see hard passing at other mile-and-a-half facilities. And Homestead's weather and fans offer a great opportunity. So for it to be a championship weekend at Homestead, right now there isn't a better track.
No, it's great. You see guys being able to go everywhere, defend, use the middle of the track. It was really exciting. And I tell you what, the guy who drove away at the end when it comes to the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, it was Joey Logano. And I know 22 fans out there, or just somebody who wants a piece of history, can do that with Plan B sales. You can get the race-winning diecast of Joey Logano's championship win at Homestead Miami Speedway, as well as all race-winning and other diecasts. They're all available at our good partners at www.planbsales.com. And I got to think, if you are a fan of the 22 Team Penske, Joey Logano, sliced bread, finally getting his championship, you're going to want a piece of that. And here's Joey Logano after the race.
And it's incredible what goes through your mind and how it feels to be able to cross the start-finish line. You're able to take the lead, and you know there's quite a few laps left. And as you get closer, 5 laps, 4 laps, you're counting them down. You're like, I just want to take the white flag to where the caution comes out. We got it. And it really felt a lot like my first win in Pocono, and kind of that same thing, because how big that first win was to me. And once you get that first win, your goal changes to winning a championship. And I remember those laps there, and my foot would shake on the way down to put the throttle down, and my foot kept shaking, and it started doing that again. I was like, oh my goodness, it's been so hard and such a long road to get here. And we had a very challenging year. And there's a lot of lessons we needed to learn, and we got stubborn and stuck in our ways, and we felt like this is what worked because we almost won the championship the year before, and we were the fastest car down here, we should have won, and all this stuff. And then you go to the next season and you get spanked, and it's been a slow but steady climb back to now at the top. It's just so crazy to think, but we dropped like an elevator, and we took the flight of stairs back up to the top, man. It's just to be able to do that and fighting together with the whole race team, not just the two of us, but all the way through. And you make a little gain here, make a little gain here, make a little gain there. All of a sudden, man, we're champions the next year.
Logano, his 3rd win of the season, his first win at Homestead in 10 starts, 5th straight season, Joey, that the winner at Homestead has walked off with the championship. Yep. And could you want anything more than that? To win the championship, you got to win the final race. Winning matters.
When we talk about everybody wants to complain about this convoluted NASCAR point system, and it's goofy. And we had 4 drivers that had an opportunity to win a championship showing up at Homestead. Joey Logano, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch. Where'd they finish? Out of 40 or 39 drivers that started the race, the 4 drivers that took the whole season to get lined up for a championship finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I don't know what better system you could have. Yeah. That would be like taking the NCAA basketball and always having the 4 number 1 seeds playing against each other, except for they can't play each other. They only play 2 teams.
Right.
But what you have is you have 39 other drivers total. The 4 drivers that are top seeded are finishing 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And by golly, if you watch the scoring pile-on yesterday, almost the whole race, they were in the top 5. That's a pretty good value, or pretty good how you can judge the system is how those drivers ran. And I think they proved the point last night.
How many on-tracks have I told you? The fact that once the playoff starts, these guys find another level.
That's it.
The championship drivers find another level. One stat that I pulled out that I think is going to get overlooked quite a bit from the Homestead race, and really the last 2 races of the year, Matt Kenseth finished 6th, finished the season with 2 straight top 10 finishes. You remember when he switched over and came back to the number 6 car at Roush Fenway Racing, I think most people said, he ain't going to be able to fix that car. That car's too far gone. He's late in his season. But sure enough, a race car that we had kind of, I don't want to say left for dead, but we didn't think they had a chance. 2 straight top 10s, 6th place finish for Matt Kenseth, who doesn't know what his future is.
You know who's really happy about that?
Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman, absolutely. Ryan Newman. Talked to him at the airport yesterday. And again, change is always inevitable in this sport, as we're going to find out later on in the show as well. A lot of changes going on for 2019. But Ryan Newman comes off of his long tenure at RCR with a couple of wins, a couple of playoff appearances, but now he's foaming at the mouth to jump in that 6 car with the performance that Matt Kenseth provided. Yeah, it might have been Matt Kenseth's best run. Also, some things that kind of ended. Denny Hamlin, 12 straight years. Didn't get a win this year. Jimmy Johnson, 16 straight years had a win. He didn't get one either. But at the end of the day, it's Joey Logano who hosted the Giant Trophy. Team Penske, congratulations to you guys. Good company win and a good win for Joey Logano. All right, we got to take a break here on Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. When we come back, he didn't win the championship, but we want to get his thoughts because he had an incredible year. Johnny Sauter will join us right here, right after this.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Things happen fast in racing, and if you don't know where to look, you can miss it all. With Legend from Racing Electronics, you'll never miss another moment. Legend gives you live fan vision video, in-car cameras, and stats at NASCAR and other Premier Series events. And the next generation race scanner for unfiltered driver and crew audio at any motorsports event nationwide. NASCAR fans have never been closer to the action. Welcome to the future of the fan experience. Learn more by visiting racingelectronics.com.
Join MRN as we travel through the life of NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack.
I won races that I never thought I'd win.
From growing up under the Earnhardt name to super speedway wins to Whiskey River, we dive into everything Dale Jr.
He's Rain Man for NASCAR history.
You know, we weren't the typical family that got to sit down to dinner together.
Tune in to Junior's Journey, available on iTunes for download only on the Motor Racing Network.
Moffitt off turn 2 for the last time.
The Cinderella story half a lap away from being completed. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. The glass slipper is about to fit. Here comes Brett Moffitt off turn 4 for the checkers.
Brett Moffitt, driver out of Grimes, Iowa, rolls down across the stripe. The 6th victory of the season, but more important than that, he is their 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion, winning the Ford EcoBoost 200.
Welcome back to Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Joey Meyer, Tony Rizzuti with you here in Concord with our championship finale of the program. Brett Moffitt, maybe the most unexpected of the champions, fellow Iowan, underrated state when it comes to racing. Actually, more short tracks in the state of Iowa per capita than anywhere in the country. But he gets the championship, Joey, in a truck that twice this season said, we don't have a sponsorship, we can't make it back.
We're not running. I say
what you
it's
say.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Hattori Racing, but competing against the strengths of GMS and KBM. Clearly, they are out of the top 4 trucks. They were the 4th seed. Even though they'd run really good, when it comes time to the championship season there at Homestead, you're still saying the experience of Johnny Sauter, the strength of him and Justin Haley at GMS, the performance of KBM with Noah Gragson, they're clearly going to perform better. They had the controversial engine rule change. The 16 team with Brett Moffitt and Mike Gricci and those guys in Zipadelli, they chose to run a OEM motor for most of the year.
They went spec.
They had to go spec motor at Texas. They went to another spec engine at Homestead, feeling like the rules were going to play better for the spec motor. Johnny Sauter had some things to say about the OEM motor in Phoenix. But clearly the 16 team did a good job and showed that it wasn't a motor rule change that allowed them to come out as the championship driver. Yeah, and interesting as well, we talked again earlier about winning. Remember, NASCAR said winning is going to be more important. He won the last 2 races of the season to win the championship. Great stuff. Here's what Brett Moffitt had to say after the race at Homestead.
I don't know. I don't think it's sunk in yet. I have a lot of friends, family here, and just the effort that HRE put in all year, and Scott and these guys, when when we didn't even know if we were going to make it to the track, and then we show up that week and win the race at Chicago, and just everything we've been through. I don't think everyone understands when we say we have 9 or 10 full-time employees. That's the last 3 to 5 weeks they've been working 7 days a week and working till midnight if need be. More times than not, they were doing that, and it's just it's a testament to them. It's really I'm fortunate to drive the truck, but those guys, they kill it. I mean, it's an honor to drive for them.
First championship for Brett Moffitt. He 5 times in the K&N Series he got close, but never got a championship. But he gets one here. Scott Zippadelli, very well-respected crew chief in the Truck Series. He gets his first championship. You talk about Shigeyatori. This team gets a championship. Long time with Brett Moffitt. I worked with Brett Moffitt back in the days at MWR. In fact, he ran some Cup races with us, so he's not this new young kid, but an incredible finish to the season. And really, Toyota. This is their now, eighth time a Toyota driver has won the championship. Really remarkable what they've been able to do with the Truck Series as well.
You know, he ran the Cup Series for 3 years with 45 starts, so he's got plenty of experience in the sport, but really hasn't had a chance to make a name for himself, and really he drove this 16 team to the front. Last year, Ryan Truex there had a great year, just didn't have the breakout performance that we saw from Brett Moffitt. He's not a new kid. The only thing new that Brett Moffitt has is the mustache.
Yeah, I don't know that's a great look for him either. The Truck Series continues to just put on some of the best racing that we see year in and year out. And I think it's one of those things that when we talk about the competition side of even in the Cup Series, what they keep trying to chase is that combination of just hard, great racing. Joey, in your mind, what is it about the Truck Series that seems to produce such great racing week after week?
Because the truck bodies are so it's a truck, that the aero still plays an important part of drag. We've taken a Cup car now and made these a lean aero machine to where they perform, and they're so dominant and predicated on aero that it takes away the performance. A truck is still at the back of that standard.
Yeah, 6 wins for Brett Moffitt, including the last 2, leads him to the championship. Another 6-time winner this season in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series was Johnny Sauter. He finished 4th in the championship standings after a 12th place run at Homestead Miami Speedway. Johnny's on the phone with us. Johnny, how are you today?
Oh, doing pretty well. How about you?
Yeah, we're doing okay, man. Really was pulling for you there down in the final race. 12th place finish tonight. Just didn't quite go the way you needed it to. What was the difference in that finale for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, when I look back on it, we kind of struggled at Phoenix a little bit, and we struggled at Texas a little bit, and then we went down there. And honestly, I felt like we were going with a pretty proven package for us anyway. And we had some good speed right off the truck. We were top of the board, and as the day went on, I didn't think our handling was too bad. And then obviously at Homestead, you don't want to use a bunch of tires in practice, and we ended up getting a hole in the right rear tire and lost the last 25, 30 minutes of practice because of the fact that you don't want to put one new tire on with a set of tires that have 20 laps. So, having said that, we lost some pretty valuable track time, but even saying that, we just couldn't get the balance right. We're really way too free to start the race, and made some major adjustments to it, and then actually got it to where it was tight across the center and still loose on exit. So, just not the night we needed with our 21 GMS team, but I don't know, what the heck happened, and just makes for a long off season, that's for sure.
Johnny, this point system is one of the things that I've been able to partake in. It is the old point system was kind of like watching rust on a car. It didn't show up at first, and then you noticed it, and it was kind of a slow bleed until one day you walked out in your driveway, and man, my car's rusted out. This point system, now the new point system is so catastrophically difficult because you go into Homestead with an equal opportunity. Only one driver can walk away as a champion. 3 others feel like a failure, and I hate that feeling. You've got yourself, Joe Shear, Maury Gallagher, and everybody over at GMS that had 2 trucks in this championship season. It was a great year for you guys. Who tells that message to all your guys for 2019. Let's not worry about the fact that we didn't win. Let's really concentrate on the fact that it was really a good year in 18 and to catapult us in 19. Whose job is that? Do you do that, or is that Joe's or Maury's?
Well, I think, honestly, everybody kind of takes that, responsibility amongst themselves, honestly. I know you can sit back and say it was a great season. It was. GMS has a lot to be proud of, obviously, through the course of the year. But I think we won 10 races as an organization in the Truck Series alone. So having said that, there's a pretty big void at the end of the year when you don't get the championship. So I think anybody that's a true racer, feels like they got kicked in the stomach,
yes.
So to speak. But, like I've said before 1,000 times, you race long enough, you understand how this sport is up and down. And some days you're on top, some days you're not. So, unfortunately, we came down to Homestead with an opportunity, like you said, and we just didn't get it done. So, but, I can vouch for everybody at GMS and Mike Beam and like you said, Maury, and just everybody. I mean, they know, that we got beat and that we've got to work on that. So, but, like you said, there's some stuff to hang your hat on, but it's still tough to take.
Yeah, 10 wins is a great year as a company and organization. A couple weeks back, we had you on after a victory, and you talked about getting Justin Haley into that final round at Homestead, and we were able to do that as a company. Did you guys go down at Homestead with the same thought process on setups for your trucks, or was that completely different? Because, again, uncharacteristically, both GMS trucks were kind of off a little bit all weekend.
Well, I mean, and then the other GMS trucks, Friesen and, Creed had top 5 days. So,
right.
Having said that, I was at the shop Monday and Tuesday, I guess it was, and went through setups with Joe and my engineer and looked at a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I felt really comfortable about the setup we were taking. I felt like it was pretty traditional stuff. It wasn't anything exotic, nothing crazy. And, it's similar stuff to what the 24 had, for sure, because as a company, we kind of run very similar stuff, but there's always little things that the driver wants or crew chief wants to do. So, as I sit here today, I feel like I put a lot of effort mentally into this, and sometimes I think that you overanalyze things, and I think I'm a little better when I just sit back and wing it. So, moving forward, I don't know. If you told me today, what would you go back and change? Just going through the week and our setup and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, really that it would be totally different. Obviously, another race at Homestead and the characteristics of that racetrack and what it's taught me, I got quite a few ideas with what we would do differently, but somewhere along the way we just missed it, and I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's just maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it doesn't take much to be off, a tenth or two a lap. So that's what you got to really put the microscope on and try to figure that out.
Johnny Sauter joining us here on Motorsports Monday. Johnny, I know a lot of drivers are going to have to wait until February to strap back in to a race car, but do I hear this right? You're going to go down to Pensacola and run the Snowball Derby this year?
Yeah, I kind of put the kibosh on that. So
okay.
That takes a lot of effort to go down there, and I like to enjoy racing a little bit, and that down there 5 days, that's a little too long, and it kind of drags on. So that's my humble opinion. But so I just, I feel like it's best to sit back and really focus on this truck thing a little bit and figure out what the heck's going on. So, but yeah, you never know. I might pop into a late model race somewhere here this winter. I don't have that figured out yet.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you on a snowmobile up there in Wisconsin at some point in time. Johnny, really appreciate your time. I know it didn't quite go the way you wanted, but as we've said here, 10 wins for GMS, 6 for you personally, a good season. And as always, we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us here on Motorsports Monday.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Johnny.
Have a happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Same to you. Johnny Sauter joining us. All right, we got to take a break here on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, we'll talk about the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Tyler Reddick gets the championship. We'll talk to him when we come back here on Motorsports Monday.
Are you a serious diecast collector? Do you have a favorite driver? Are you looking for a gift for a race fan? No matter what the question, the answer is always PlanBSales.com. Plan B has all the latest in diecast from Lionel and apparel, artwork, and other items for your favorite driver in NASCAR or other forms of racing. Go to planbsales.com, key your driver's name in the handy search window, and look at all the options. Your one stop for diecast and other motorsports collectibles is planbsales.com.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops. On race weekend, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
Chase Elliott is going to victory lane.
But when they leave the track, they're just like us, everyday people.
You know, as I've said before, I'm going to be me.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation, the world of racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
The 1993 Cup Series season had more than its fair share of twists and turns.
Checkered flags waving. I look in my mirror, and here's Earnhardt right on my tail, and he goes down low to pass me. And I said, oh, no, you don't.
As Wallace spins, Wallace's car goes on its nose.
Here's stories that you've never heard before in a 10-part series called The 1993 Season, 25 years later.
And Davey was behind me, and we came off the corner, and there's a guy standing in the middle of the racetrack.
You can download it for free on iTunes and at MRN.com right now.
It's Tyler Reddick leading and headed for a championship.
Tyler Reddick picked up the season opener win at Daytona back in Florida. He's going to bookend the season. Here he is for the final time in turns 3 and 4.
Tyler Reddick up against the outside safer barrier, up off of turn 4. All he has to do is point it towards the start-finish line. Checkered flag in the air. Tyler Reddick wins the Ford EcoBoost 300, and Tyler Reddick wins the 2018 NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
Welcome back to Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tony Rizzuti, Joey Meyer. There's a look at the NASCAR Xfinity Series results from the Ford EcoBoost 300. Tyler Reddick gets the walk-off win in the championship for Junior Motorsports. Cole Custer finishing second, John Hunter Nemechek third, Daniel Hemrick fourth, and Austin Cindric coming in fifth. When Joey, you talk about bookends, our next guest had him, didn't he? Won at Daytona, wins at Homestead, wins the championship.
It's a heck of a way to point and walk off with a home run.
And let's bring him in, Tyler Reddick, the 2018 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. I bet that feels pretty good this morning.
It does. I just can't believe that it actually happened. I believed, our whole team believed we could do it. We believed in ourselves. It was just a matter of making it to the final race, giving ourselves a shot at competing for it. That was our goal all year long. We were able to carry it out.
You know, when you show up at Homestead from last year's performance, you look at Cole Custer, who clearly was a fan favorite, the number one seed, if you would, go into Homestead, simply because of his 13-second lead. But really under the radar was Tyler Reddick as the guy that loves running against the wall. At what point in the race did you ever say, if you did, this race is mine?
I thought when we broke out in the first run-in, was able to stay in second for as long as we did. I feel like we had a pretty good shot at it, honestly. Wasn't having to run too extreme yet. Could somewhat keep Cole in my line of sight, but we made adjustments on the car trying to help it, and we unfortunately just made it worse, and then still got back to the same. We ended up creating a new issue and then going back to the same issue at the end of the run. But we unloaded in the third and final stage, I believe in 7th or 9th, a ways back from the rest of the championship 4, and we just had to pick them off one by one, and then we used a little bit of strategy that was already kind of thrown in place by the 20, and then we just got out in front of those guys. Unfortunately, let the 20 go, but trial and error, literally bouncing off the fence, figured out what I needed to do, and from there it was just an inch at a time, I guess.
Tyler, let's talk about your your path to this NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. You started back at Brad Keselowski Racing. Joey, I know you'll remember this, as a teammate with Blaney, with Ryan Blaney, and I know at the time you thought that's probably going to be my path, right? I go up through trucks with Brad Keselowski Racing, and then it moves into Penske, and that's going to be my path. And that didn't happen. Do you look at it that today? I know that was disappointment then, but are you sitting here maybe this morning thinking maybe that was an unanswered prayer that you were able to make it then over to Junior Motorsports and win this championship?
Well, if there's anything I've ever learned, even in my young life, and a lot of people know this, is everything happens for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just every little bump in the road or fork in the road or tree that falls down, you think, man, it's coming to an end. But there's another path. There's always another way to do something. And yeah, at times there's, you just wonder if it's all going to work out. But you can't ever worry about it, that stuff too much. You just have to go out there and not lose focus of the ultimate goal, and that's compete and try and win a championship. Throughout the year, we had a lot of ups and downs, but come playoff time, we honed in on what our strengths were and eliminated a lot of our weaknesses, and we were able to survive and get there. Just have a shot at it was unreal, and to be able to put ourselves in a spot there the last half of that race, to go from being probably the worst of the 4 cars to the best, was a really awesome achievement.
Tyler Reddick on the phone with us after celebrating a victory and a championship down at Homestead Miami Speedway, driving the Burger Fi. I keep hitting this thing on my seat. If you can't see the video, I keep going up and down. It's kind of cool. But now you move to 2019 over to Richard Childress Racing. How do you start dividing the time from celebrating with Junior Motorsports guys to start building your crew over in RCR?
Well, I guess I'll figure all that out here in the next few weeks. But for sure, we've got quite a few things left to take care of. Obviously, we all have to enjoy this championship together as a team. But I'd say after the banquet at some point, that's when I can start to allow myself to shift towards next year. Obviously, my brain's already thinking about next year in a way, but definitely have to take time to celebrate this. They'll emphasize that a lot. Don't forget what you accomplished. Soak it in. Enjoy the moment. Because come Daytona next year, it's all in the past. So I'm gonna make sure we take time to allow our team to enjoy this accomplishment we've done. There's some good guys over there at RCR. I'm not too worried. I have faith that they're already, they're looking ahead themselves. They're doing what they need to do. Obviously, everyone takes a little bit of a break, but we'll have plenty of time to get ready for next year when it comes.
Tyler Reddick joins Chase Elliott and William Byron as the only rookies to win NASCAR Xfinity Series championship. All 3 of those drivers with Junior Motorsports. What did Dale Jr. have to say to you after the race?
I just, like I kind of just said a minute ago, just make sure you take a minute to enjoy what just happened.
Yeah.
You can do everything right, just like Justin Allgaier and Christopher Bell did all year long, and you can still, end up not being the champion. So a lot of things have to go right, and they did for us. So just to make sure that you sit down and understand what really just happened, and don't let it, don't take it for granted. By no means, I plan on doing that. Plan to cherish every moment of this incredible day, incredible week, incredible way to end the year.
And it started great in February with a win at Daytona. It finishes with a win and a championship in Homestead. Tyler, keep the party going down there in South Florida, and thanks again for joining us today on Motorsports Monday.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Congrats, Jay.
There he is. Man, we talk about another thing, Joey. We talk about winning mattering. This now makes the 7th straight season that we've had a different NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. Parity has been strong in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
The interesting thing about all the champions is that, again, we talk about the point system and everybody wants to get mad at it, but the champions are winning the race.
Yeah.
They're not, we're going to have a good points day today. We're going down to Homestead and we're going to perform at a high level. And every championship for this weekend, the champion won the race, and that's what it's about.
And the amazing story of a rookie in Tyler Reddick winning the championship. We also, at the end of the Homestead race, say goodbye to a great veteran of that series in NASCAR, and Elliott Sadler. Certainly going to miss seeing him around the racetrack. All right, we got to take a time out here on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, Joey and I will talk a little bit about the Cup Series finale and let you know some of the changes in 2019. Some big news coming up right after this.
If you suffer from heartburn or other digestive-related disorders, then there is a new, safe, better, and natural alternative to better digestive wellness and heartburn relief. Praxid not only provides relief of heartburn, but Praxid takes a 360-degree approach to support better digestion, protect you from harmful bacteria, and also balance your stomach to improve digestive functions.
We like to think of it as the multivitamin of digestive health.
It's the only product to combine all natural ingredients known for the digestive health properties into a single patented product. Praxid also comes in easy-to-carry packs. Praxid relieves, restores, and maintains a healthy digestive system. Praxid is available here for only $39.95. Shipping and handling is free, and your money back is guaranteed.
To take advantage of this special radio offer, call now 1-800-829-5688. That's 1-800-829-5688. Again, 1-800-829-5688.
MRN.com. Original online audio, video, and digital content. Need the latest information on each week's races? Check out the MRN.com Race Center. Need to find your local radio station for MRN original programs and Camping World Truck, Xfinity, and Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series races? Go to Stations on MRN.com. All the latest NASCAR news and opinion pieces, race schedules, driver standings, and archives of MRN programs, MRN race broadcasts, and so much more. MRN.com.
Joey Logano is going to take Team Penske to victory lane in the championship.
What a year for Joey Logano, and he caps it off with a win at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight, he will win the battle, and he will win the war in South Florida.
Joey said the other day, it's the big three and me. Well, me's the one who's going to win it. Joey Logano, in his 10th full-time season in the Cup Series, is going to win at Ford EcoBoost 400 and the 2018 Series Championship.
Congratulations again to Joey Logano, Todd Gordon, Roger Penske, and everybody with the Shell Pennzoil number 22 Ford team. Here's your final results from the Ford EcoBoost 400, and as Joey Meyer said it earlier, the championship 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Logano, Truex, Harvick, Busch. No fairy tale for Martin Truex, but certainly that team, Joey, have to feel pretty good about the way they finished out that season. Obviously, they wanted the championship, but they had every reason to fold with all the things that happened to him, with Jimmy Johnson getting into Martin Truex at the Roval, with Joey Logano moving him at Martinsville, the team shutting down to finish that strong and to come up 5 points short, one position. Made the difference.
You know, a lot of teams get distracted in 2012. Dodge said they were pulling out of the sport. We were able to continue on and win a championship. We saw this year with the 78 team shutting their Denver-based team down, their distraction. Everybody's talking about the distraction. They clearly weren't distracted from that. But a quick shout out to Joe Moore, who gave that last call. After 35 years of calling some MRN races, he's retiring. And good luck to you, Joe, and thanks for all what you've done for here at MRN. And enjoyed listening to you for the last 35 years. But, the distractions weren't the case for Martin Truex Jr. and that team.
Yeah, the fish and the keys need to be nervous because old Joe going to be on that boat quite a bit more. Much like your chair, Brad's season kind of up and down. You guys finished 5th.
Yeah, finished 5th in the season, had 3 wins in a row, 2 crown jewels with Darlington in the Brickyard race. We're able to capture Las Vegas and move through, but our consistency and our execution, as the old saying goes, what do you think about your team's execution? I'm all for it, right? And that's exactly how we didn't really execute that well. We had good speed, but we didn't really wrap our arms around the entire weekend. We had a good race at Homestead, but again, if we were racing for a championship, we would have finished 5th. So it shows you where we are.
So one season down, we now look towards 2019. I got a list of kind of some of what we know and some of what we don't in 19. Obviously, Furniture Row won't be back. Martin Truex and Cole Pearn moving over to the 19. Suarez, we don't know where he's going to end up. Maybe the 41. That's where the rumors are. Jamie McMurray maybe runs the Daytona 500. Maybe goes into a corporate role. Maybe goes somewhere else. We don't know. Casey Kane retires. Matt DiBenedetto switching from the 32 to the 95. Ryan Newman, as we suggest, going to the 6. Kurt Busch. Ryan Preece in the 47. AJ Allmendinger out. Chad Knaus moving. Mike Wheeler not coming back with Denny Hamlin. Lowe's not returning to the 48. But for here of us at MRN and maybe Blue Deuce fans everywhere, this bombshell announcement.
Yeah, I was informed during the summer months that the 2-car spotter will be changed. I will not be spotting the 2-car anymore, and unfortunately that's a bad deal. I enjoyed doing that for the last 9 years, working with Roger Penske, Brad Keselowski, and Paul Wolfe as well. We've had some good success, but they're going to make some changes. Unfortunately, that also means I won't be doing Motorsports Monday, so after 6 years of having this opportunity and driving our audience up and having a great time, I won't be doing this. Thanks to all the fans for watching in video. We look forward to 2019. I'll still be flying, doing all good. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been a fun time. It's been a fun ride.
Well, we've enjoyed having you this entire time, Joey. And as you know, with any of our shows, you're welcome anytime you want to come in. Maybe a special assignment here, too. What do you think?
That's it. I love special assignments.
All right.
As long as I get to play with my Joey.
For all of us here at Motor Racing Network, thanks for a great year, and we'll see you in 2019.